Hello and welcome to Garden After Lockdown. Today I'm making my own tulip blend. I'm using 8 double early tulips which bloom in May. Some varieties of double early tulips have more than one bloom per bulb. Some have 2 to 3 blooms. This is a mixed variety pack, so it's unknown how many I'll get. But I want to increase the amount of tulips and also add a bit more texture. So I will be mixing double early tulips with honeymoon tulips. Now honeymoon tulips have fringed edges and also lovely green-grey leaves. So if I add these, they will give me texture and more interest with the stems. So for every double early tulip, I'll add about 3 or 4 honeymoon tulips. I'm going to mix them together, and in the end I will have my own tulip blend, which is a collection of honeymoon tulips and double early tulips. I'll be planting these with the flat side down and the pointy tip facing upwards. If you're not sure which way to plant, always plant on its side and it will always find its way up eventually. I have noticed the squirrels have been super active in the last few weeks. I'm going to protect my tulip bed in 2 ways, and you'll see during the video. The first way is I'm going to add garden fence wire on top of the bed and tack it down. The second way is to use a decoy, and you'll have to see to the end. I'm not going to give it away now, but it could mean the difference to having tulips in spring or having none at all. So make sure you watch to the end to find out what I use to get squirrels away from my flower bed, safely and humanely. I start off removing any fallen autumn leaves with a garden rake. With this blank canvas, I'll start laying out my bulbs. Here is what I'll be planting in this flower bed. Just to add more interest to this area, I'm going to plant some alliums. I've heard the foliage isn't so attractive, so I'm going to place these behind the tulips and use the tulip leaves as sort of a barrier, and these will hide the foliage of the alliums as they grow up. If you're unsure about which way to plant the allium bulbs, always plant them with the flat side pointing downwards, so the flat base of the bulb should be lower down in your soil than the top rounded half. As with the tulips, these will be buried 15 centimetres down into the soil. So here you can see my double early tulip bulbs are surrounded by honeymoon tulips, and there are a layer of alliums at the back. The allium variety is called Colour Blend. I am aiming to plant all these bulbs at least 15 centimetres down into the soil, as recommended by the instructions. So I'm just going to place down some garden netting on top of the flower bed. You can use chicken wire too. I'm going to cut a piece to size and tack it down. And then when the green shoots of my tulips start arriving, I'll plan to remove it. Here I'm showing you some pegs that I'll be using to hold down the mesh with. These are fleece pegs, but you can use garden pins as well. What you want to make sure is that it's very securely pinned down so it doesn't get raised. This is the most time-consuming part of my flower bed planting, but I'm really putting this down to stop the squirrels digging up tulip bulbs because they have quite an affinity for them here in my garden. Here I'm just pinning down the garden mesh just to make it a bit secure, and once you step away you can hardly see it at all. And now the tulip flower bed is complete. I'll leave a tasty snack for my beady-eyed, bushy-tailed squirrel friends. These are just monkey nuts. Thank you for watching. Hopefully these will be a tasty alternative to my tulip bulbs.